goodness. All right, here we
I
go.
get so many calls from people who
We're
wondered
live now.
wondered if I sent their
Just letting you know.
packages.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, and I couldn't find one of the orders. I looked all over. I placed it in the wrong place.
Oh.
And what we're finding out is it doesn't matter when I mail things. They're all going to take a very long time to get there.
You don't misplace anything in that store.
Well, actually, it's actually a good arrangement. But when I'm in a hurry and I find something, I go halfway down through the stack and I find the order I'm looking for. You know, in my haste to get back to the phone, I place what I have in my right hand down someplace else. And that was the case.
And Tim is in studio. We're on the pre-show right now. We're all fired up. We got a lot to talk about tonight. He came in hot and heavy, ready to talk about gold. Basel III?
Basel III, or Basel III.
Am I saying it wrong again? It's Basel or Basel?
Well, basil sounds like a spice, but I think
Basil does.
I think it's basil.
Okay.
Maybe I'm totally wrong.
Basil?
I
Let's go with Basel. Let's see what the people in
Basel?
the chat say.
But it doesn't sound like Switzerland. Switzerland's so genteel, you know. Everything is very formal. Mm-hmm. Basil sounds like something you see in England.
Oh, man. So, yeah, we were just I have a video that's going to drop, guys, with Tim on Monday. We kind of start to get into this topic of Basel III. Basel III.
That's in Basel, Switzerland, right?
Basel 3. Whatever.
I don't know what it's called.
And Basel 3. And basically, it's supposed to hit or at least start to be implemented July 1st of this year if they don't delay it again.
Yeah, well.
And the impact could be significant.
I don't think there's any reason to delay it unless we have some of these evil people in New York who don't want it to.
And they would be the ones that would flip out over this, right?
They would be, yes. I think it's a big improvement to anybody who's a fan of gold or wants to buy gold. I think it's a big improvement. And they're going to, the whole point is after 2008 collapse,
right.
A lot of these investment houses couldn't meet their margin requirements. A lot of the banks were getting called upon to take care of the investment houses, and which shouldn't have been their responsibility with Glass-Steagall in 1933 or 4, whenever it was.
Right.
So that they, that we a lot of economic collapse and the mortgage crisis, it's everything else. And they wanted to straighten that out. If banks are going to go write mortgages, through mortgage brokers and not follow the rules, and then get stuck with all these properties, they better have more money to back up their reserves.
All right. Well, let's start the countdown here and go live.
Oh, there's a countdown too?
Yeah, right now. right, we are live. Welcome to Ask Yankee. So good to have you. This is where I do my very best to answer your gold and silver stacking questions. Tonight, the live stream includes my good friend and coin dealer OG, Tim Marshner. Tim, do you know what OG stands for?
Well, in the coin world, it's original box and papers.
No, it's the original gangster. You're
Original
the
gangster.
boss, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's great to have you. And there's going to be a lot of giveaways brought to you in part.
Am I risking deportation?
You're going to try to throw me off my game tonight, aren't you?
Pretty much at every turn.
That is your goal. Okay. Boy, he is fired up. Hey, does that tea still too hot?
Tim in the street urchin.
I'm never going to live that one down, am I? Let me just get the boring stuff out of the way, Tim. And maybe I'll do a quick little giveaway to keep people interested in the beginning here. But
Are you going to sing the national anthem?
no, I'm not going to sing the national anthem. Let me just do this, okay? He's just grinning from ear to ear here. There's going to be a lot of giveaways. They're brought to you in part by SD Bullion, by the Coin and Stamp Shop, Tim Marshner himself, and myself, depending on how many super chats we get tonight. But I want to thank my members, my Patriot Pistol, Buffalo Bullet, and Yankee Cannon members. You guys are the best. They're the ones with the little white stars and the blue background next to their name. I really appreciate you guys. Note, all militia members get access to my community-sourced local coin shop master list. Tim, do you know what that is? That is a master list of LCSs all around the country. You're on it, and it's ranked, and there's all kinds of information, how to contact and all that. So when people ask me, do you know of a local coin shop down here in Arkansas? They could go to that spreadsheet, that database, and actually look them up. So it's a really neat, something that people have been asking for last year, and I put it together. So that's available to all members. Yankee Cannon Buffalo Bullet members can gather together with me on my exclusive online militia meetups. The next one is May 27th. It's a lot of fun, so consider those memberships. Buffalo Bullet members get one-on-one time with Yankee to discuss your specific stacking questions. Wouldn't that be fun, Tim, to have a one-on-one discussion with Yankee about stacking, gold and silver?
Well, of course so. What do you want me to say?
Anything you want, buddy. Shout out to my mods. You guys are great, helping me out if things get crazy. And, of course, thanks to SD Bullion. They're going to be giving away a really cool coin at the end. But actually, have you seen the 1-ounce silver roaring lion that they put out? The roaring lion. This is the Tree of Life that I'm wearing right now. But the other one has the roaring lion.
What size coin?
Yeah, let me show it to you. Actually, I'll show it to you in a second. You'll see it's 1 ounce. But they're going to give away one of those at the end. And how do you win a giveaway? Well, you do need to be a subscriber to my channel. You have to be a U.S. or Canadian resident, or at least have a mailing address, or we can mail it to you. And you need to be active in the chat. I am already harvesting names right now. So at any moment, I could just grab the names, throw them into the wheel of names, spin it, and give a winning piece of silver. Like, maybe I should do that right now. And this will really bother Rig Nation, who loves to tease me. This is what's the date on this? 1945 Canadian dime. How much silver is in this, Tim?
Well, it's 80%. It is lighter than the U.S. dime. So it's kind of hard off the top of my head to do the math.
You don't do public math?
No, because their dollar is 60%, where our dollar is 77%.
Okay. All right.
So it is much lighter. But
all right. Why don't we give this away then? By the way, every $100 in Super Chats gets another ounce of Yankee silver. So feel free to knock yourself out with that. Ask a question with the Super Chat. They always get preferential treatment. And all the details and the rules are in the links of my videos and in the chat. All right. Why don't we do that? Why don't we give it a shot right now? I'm going to stop. I'm going to harvest the names that have already gotten in here. And then we'll bring up the wheel of names really quick. And there we go. Copy. This is just a test. We need to do a wheel of names test here. browser. There we go. Let's
I think
paste
I've
these
seen
names
that
in.
roaring lion.
Boom.
It just flashed up there. I think
Oh,
I
you did
have
see
seen
the
that.
roaring lion? All right,
Yeah,
let's
someone's got
switch
one
over
there.
to that. There it is. That's the
Yeah,
roaring
I've seen
lion.
that.
Let me make it a little bigger. Actually, there. Yeah. Have you seen that in your shop?
Yeah, somebody brought one in.
Oh, cool. So yeah, we're going to give one of those from SD Bullion at the end. But here is the names. We don't have a lot, right? Just 177 because we're having. This is just a test. We need to test out the wheel, make sure things are working. This is for that 80% dime, Canadian dime. Good luck, everyone. And what I'll do is after this, I'll just purge out all the names. We'll start all over again for some of the other giveaways later on in the live stream. This is the non-rigged, trusted, loved Wheel of the Names, Tim.
Well, figures because I'm not on there.
You're never on there. Steve Gilbert, Endless Awareness, and Scott Cooper. Can Scott hold on to it? I think.
Cooper, was he?
Good. Scott Cooper.
Wasn't he an astronaut?
I don't know. An astronaut. All
Ask
right,
him.
well, Scott Cooper, were you an astronaut? No. Scott, email me your mailing address at YankeeStacking@gmail.com, and I will get this out to you. That's just the first, right? Do you have the tray? Can you pass me the giveaway tray at the top of that printer over there on the left?
All the way up there.
All the way over there. You can put your tea down. Is your tea nice and hot?
It's cooled off.
It's cooled off. Okay,
We
yeah.
have this Arctic air coming through the window.
Oh. Do you want me to shut that down for you?
No, that's fine.
Okay, Arctic.
I'm not wearing my bathing suit like you.
Tim, you're just crazy tonight. Oh man, it is good to have you in here,
This
though.
is actually normal for me.
Is it?
Yeah. You should have been in the store today.
What was it like?
Record breaking.
Record breaking?
Yeah.
Why?
The amount of money went out the door.
Oh, people are selling with
Still.
the dip that we just went through?
Yeah. A lot. And it's not bad. I mean, it's all good stuff. It's just that, I still have a lot more silver than I need. So we're contemplating another low price sale on some big price items. Wow. It's going to be necessary pretty soon.
Why? Just because you're overwhelmed?
Just the volume, yeah.
Man, I don't
We're not
quite
talking
get that.
hundreds of ounces coming in today. We're talking thousands. Literally. Wow. Even a lot of gold that I have too much of.
Now, why? Now, the spot price dipped a bit this week, right? Everything sounded really awesome suddenly with the tariffs.
Well, today there was a lot of buying of hedge funds buying gold, paper gold, and the COMEX is not controlling silver that badly. I mean, so it's silver it went up to about 33 and then back down to around 32.60 or something like that.
What's the spot price right now as we do this live? 32. The ask is 32.67.
Yeah.
For silver and 32.36 for gold.
Yeah, gold went down to around 32.20, but then it rebounded in the afternoon. I'd like to see what's the market doing today, right now.
Right now, it's pretty flat. Gold is off, 0.17%. Silver off 0.14%. So it's pretty flat.
Not a big move.
Yeah, no big move right now. But we did have some significant moves, right? Because
We did.
I know I'll use your parlance
Well,
here.
it's the first excuse followed by the second.
Right. So let's talk about the excuses that the hedge funds may be using.
Yes.
Okay. Tariffs. We're starting to see some
It was
movement.
Saudi
Saudi Arabia,
plain
Syria.
as plain as day. Apparently, Xi Jinping doesn't want to sit down with Trump and talk tariffs, and that's when it went up $100.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then Besson said, "Yeah, we're going to meet in Switzerland. Our trade reps, their trade reps, and we're going to map out how these discussions are going to go." Mm-hmm. Oh, that's when gold went down. So now the media and the other party that we don't talk about, they want to see things go badly for Trump.
They do.
Because so the first ones are, well, Xi Jinping is not going to sit down with Trump over tariffs. Every single channel was mouthing the same thing. So they got their marching orders from the other party. And but then reality set in and just proved them wrong. But are they going to say anything about that? No, of course not.
No.
Because when that's forgotten, the hedge funds will just step in and buy more paper silver or more paper gold.
So one of the things that the mainstream media, lamestream media, was touting was the prices are going to go up. Now these tariffs are in place. It takes a little while, but we're already seeing empty. I mean, look at this. If it was Walmart CFO says price hikes from tariffs could start later this month as retailer beats on earnings. So that's interesting.
And he's talking out his rear end. It's not going to happen. In fact, prices are actually going down. And one of the driving forces behind prices going down is petroleum. Now, when you're in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia has made it very clear, and it became an issue back in 2020 with the pandemic, when oil went negative. They made an issue out of the fact that they can't balance their budget unless oil is at $60 a barrel. Okay, and Trump was driving it down to $40 a barrel. So this is on the way down. They were concerned, and so they literally asked. It's what I was told. They asked Russia to cut production. Okay, and he, even though he's not a member of OPEC, he's probably the main force in OPEC. I mean, what Russia does is important to the rest of OPEC. And so he's just refused. And then Saudi Arabia boosted production is just to make things more difficult. And you saw what the result is. In March, it went negative. Oil went negative.
Yeah. And
of course, you couldn't say, I'm here with a 5-gallon can. Can I get some gasoline for free?
Yeah, you can't do that.
Didn't work that way.
The other big news that I think has dropped the price of gold and silver has been inflation. So CPI report came out. Inflation slowed to the lowest pace since 2021. 2021. This is, maybe you don't think that's significant, but I think that's significant to see it drop. That is all items less food and energy was 2.8. All items is 2.3.
If you're running a company and you have a product and it's on the shelves of every grocery store, and it's harder to get, the transportation costs were up, production costs were up, so you raised your prices. Okay, how quick are you going to drop your prices? If you have competition, you may drop your prices. If you don't have any competition, why drop your prices? So it is easing, but it's not where it should be.
Okay.
And going backwards is really tough. It doesn't matter what the product is. Taking the prices down is really tough. That's a hard sell.
And we're also seeing, the gold prices fall almost 5-week low. This was as of yesterday. It did rebound some today. Trade optimism. So you've said it many times. Optimism is the enemy of the metals, right?
Well, optimism usually makes them go down, yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is an optimistic viewpoint. Trump is winning. If Trump wins, gold and silver is going to suffer.
They must be ignoring whatever's going on. But if you just listen to his speeches, and he rambles, he goes off point, but that doesn't bother the audience that he's facing in the Middle East, because they know what's in his heart. There's one thing about Trump. He said years ago, I don't lie because I'm a terrible liar. Okay? And that's true. You always know what he's thinking. Even if he wanders off from whatever the speech is, you know what he's thinking. And when he says, I don't want to start wars. I don't want a permanent enemy. I want to stop wars. And and would be able to sit down and talk with anyone. And he was talking about Syria and Iran, and Iran is through undercover sources agreed that they need to talk. So it was
It's tough dealing.
it is it's a very different structure from any other government in the world. So we'll see how well that goes.
Now back to inflation just for a second. So I saw this tweet on Truth Social by Trump. He said, "No inflation, and prices of gasoline, energy, and groceries, and practically everything else are down. The Fed must lower the rate like Europe and China have done." And so that was one thing he said. The other thing is he took a swipe again at Fed Chairman Jerome Powell. What is wrong with Too Late Powell? These nicknames or something, aren't they? Not fair to America, which is ready to blossom. Just let it all happen. It will be a beautiful thing.
Okay, the first part of that is not really a reason to lower rates, but he might just embarrass Jerome Powell enough to
Really?
lower the rates.
Okay.
They're fighting a different game. Okay, if they lower rates, it'll be better for selling treasuries. But if they don't lower rates, well, we might be able to stay alive as a country a little longer.
Stay alive. To that point, Tim, what if Trump said, instead of, Jerome, you got to cut rates, what if he just said we don't need a central bank? We should let rates go where the free market determines it should go. Where would rates go, Tim?
You mean like Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Jackson, but he's kind of a bad choice
Yeah.
to make an argument. I mean, many
Why
of them. One of the Adams said the same thing. We don't need a central bank, especially a private.
And that's what it is.
If it
It's
were a public
private
central bank that had some controls in Congress, for example,
Yeah, well,
that'd be one thing.
the founders knew the dangers of central banking, and they didn't want it. We should let rates go where they are. Now, where would they go? If left to market forces, where would rates go?
It depends on who's controlling the purse.
If the true time value of
If-
money was
if you-
allowed
okay.
by market forces, it would go up. It would go up. It's artificially kept down. So if it did rise, I mean, first of all, if it did rise, we'd be completely hosed. We wouldn't be able to service our debt, right?
Well, there's a different structure than what it used to be. There's no competition among banks. Okay, so this is the rate for your mortgage. Take it or leave it. That's the way it is. And in 2008, the problem was that the banks couldn't make a living out of selling mortgages, so they passed that business off to mortgage brokers. Well, the banks have to follow the rules. Mortgage brokers don't have to follow lending laws. That was the problem. So they get, hey, fella, rather than living here in this tent, why don't you come with me? We'll get you a house. Well, I don't have any money. Sign here. What's going on all over California?
But one of the other things that has truly changed is we're not a production-based economy. We're a debt-driven, consumption-based economy, and we need cheap money. It has to be cheap. They have to keep it under control.
You watch it. You're beginning to sound like a Democrat.
What are you talking about? What?
You are.
No, I'm not. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. That's a slur. I can't believe you just did that to me. I'm not saying price controls. I'm just saying the opposite. Free market. Let the rates
Free market,
be determined
Well,
by
that's
the
fine.
free market.
That's fine. But when you say we need cheap money,
No.
that sounds a little bit like a congressman who's got a money laundering scheme that he's going to put in the budget.
You misheard me. I wasn't saying that is true, that we should. We need it only because we can't afford the debt that we have created. Rates can't go up or we'll default. So we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. The Fed knows it, and that's why they're trying to play this game.
Well,
I'm just saying it should not be a game anymore. We end the Fed.
The biggest problem with keeping rates down is that prices go up dramatically. Why? If a mortgage is that cheap, why don't I buy this $1 million home? You know, and I get a 40-year mortgage or something.
If our country was productive and we could afford, 8-10% interest on loans, on interest at our banks, just there, right? We would have a real economy. We'd have an economy that could handle that, right? And wouldn't worry about what's going to happen with its sovereign debt, a sovereign debt crisis. We're not there now. We've lost that ability. So right now we're playing this game where we have to keep cutting. And that's why Trump, he says, cut. It's going to gin up the economy. It's going to make it look better than it really is.
Well, it would be a big boost to the economy, except
the stock market
it also,
would love it.
prices would just skyrocket. What about, colleges? Okay, you're getting these student loans for next to nothing in interest. So we're raising tuition another $10,000 for the next quarter.
All right, why don't we switch gears here? I wanted to ask you about the FBI letter that you got and the fallout from that. So a lot of people watched the video where she came in and we talked about what she was trying to protect you from and others from, and that was scams. Right?
Yeah.
So, and it was good. She, explained how it worked a little bit. She wouldn't let me record her, and people got upset that I didn't record her. And I said, if I did video her, she'd probably walk out of Tim's shop, and then you wouldn't have any video to watch. So, but she didn't want to be on video.
Yeah, well, she also, and I called so I could talk to her a little more. She said, in no way was I implying there's anyone involved. It's, one of your customers taken advantage of. That was that person's fault.
Not yours.
Not my fault.
Absolutely it was.
But I did want to get more information.
Good.
Because the way I look at it, if somebody is encouraging someone to come in and buy gold and they happen to be with that person, I'd like to know, because, now I'm going to start looking and seeing who is coming in with people who are buying gold. Because it is happening. I'm surprised. I don't think it's happening with my good customers because they're smart enough to avoid something like that.
Right.
But I can see someone who's elderly and, it get that worried phone call from the bank, might believe what they're saying.
One of the things I didn't touch on in that video was one of the paragraphs here explained that you needed to establish and maintain an anti-money laundering program, which you have. You have an AML, right?
Yes.
In place for your store.
Probably the best one they've ever seen. And people don't know that I won't do business in cryptocurrencies, foreign currencies. I won't take, especially remotely, I won't take a credit card on gold and silver. I won't take a debit card. It has to be face-to-face. I'm not going to use an ACH transfer or a wire transfer, mostly because that puts people at risk. A wire transfer goes through the Federal Reserve now.
Right.
So, and that's just one more government computer you don't need to be on. But this last administration opened up everyone's accounts to the IRS, whether they know it or not. It didn't take much more than a deposit of $50 to give the IRS permission to go into your account. Thanks to Janet Yellen. So if you could do something like strangle somebody who is running a scheme like that, they wouldn't last long around my store.
One of the things they mentioned too in here was a SAR, a suspicious activity report, something that they expect you to fill out within 30 days of a transaction when you suspect or have reason to suspect the transaction involved money from criminal activity or involved the use of your company to facilitate a criminal activity. This is boilerplate stuff, but a SAR? That sounds like you're a bank. That's what they have
That's
to do.
exactly what they're implying. And so where do we get these stories? Okay, we have a stack of them for you. Okay, what do I do with it? Well, you submit it to this government agency. It doesn't make sometimes I wonder where people are getting the coins and stuff they're selling. So I'll engage them in conversation about it. And so far, I haven't really been too worried about people selling things in my store.
What's the tip off?
Just not knowing anything about what they have. That's usually a good tip off.
I mean, if somebody comes in you've never seen before.
Yeah, I usually ask them, but and of course, putting them on a verifier and explain to them why I'm doing that. And if they, I always say, by the way, do you have any proof of ownership for this? And that's usually you say, well, I do on my phone, and I can always look at that.
So you test. The other day I did accidentally freak you out a little bit when I was testing this. 1 ounce gold coin. Remember that?
Yeah.
So I brought this in.
Yeah, he said you bought it from me.
No, I did not say that.
Yes, you did.
I didn't even tell you. I just showed you it right off the bat. You were like,
yeah, if I don't have a magnifier, I couldn't tell. My eyes aren't good enough to see it.
So yeah, I'm gonna put this one next to this one. You could tell after you looked really carefully. You were like, wait a minute, yeah, that doesn't look right. But these fakes are getting good, Tim. This is a tungsten fake.
If it fools a verifier, and I don't think they do.
It didn't fool your verifier. That is a good point. It did not do that. But I think a lot of people need to realize that, I mean, with some of these new ones, this one is, I'm going to quickly show people, if I can get this on camera. Let me move a couple things, because this is a big problem. And I'm concerned for people that they know what they're doing with it, especially the 1 ouncers. This is probably the biggest bang for the buck when it comes to a counterfeiter. A 1 ounce gold coin. What are we at? 34 grams. Here's mine. 34 grams. They nailed it. They nailed the weight. And then I remember I opened this up and you were like, I was testing this thing out. And then people wanted to know, hey, Yankee, do you have a fail or a bad counterfeit coin that you can show on this thing? Well, here it is. Nope, sorry. That was my good one. Let me put the bad one. Fail. So, and I'm glad, because I don't want to mess this up.
What's curious to me, if you take a 24 karat coin like an American Buffalo or Maple Leaf or a Britannia or Philharmonic or anything, it will test the Maple Leaf as a Maple Leaf, but none of the rest of them.
Yeah.
And
so
they have the same composition.
A lot of people bought these, and they contacted the owner. So this is a small mom and shop pop in America, down in Massachusetts.
Mom and shop pop.
What did I say? Mom and pop shop? I didn't say that, did I? Mom and shop pop. Mom and pop shop. Can't get anything by you. Small shop.
You must be getting old like me.
I am getting old, Tim. I really am. But anyway, so yeah, this company, small shop, talked to him. He said, Yankee, I've gotten so many orders and people making suggestions that will really help. If they redesign and do another one in the future, they've got some good options. But right now, I love the flexibility of having something very small in the pocket. I can test the most risky ones, like my entire tube. I went right through my maple musket. I'm sorry, my Yankee Cannon. Tested them all. They were all good.
At least you think they are.
No, I know, right? One of these pings really bad too. You want to hear the ping?
Sure.
I got to do the ping. Actually, I want to do let's do the good one first so people can hear what the pocket pinger sounds like. Listen to this. It goes on and on and on. What a resonance. And of course, if I showed you the app, it would tell you it's real. Now listen to this one. One more time. Yeah.
Jeez, it's terrible.
That's awful, isn't it? But the weight's the same. You really, in the design, it was really, really good. A good fake. Make sure you get something to test your metals out. I'm going to put this over here. Very important to do that. Gotta make sure I don't put the wrong one in my tube when I'm done tonight. So, all right. We got some other special stuff coming up, but before I do that, I think we're ready to get into Q&A. What do you think? Want to turn to the chat? If you've got questions, this is your chance, guys, to ask it of Tim and I. Let's just switch over here. There we go. Woo! Gotta catch up. I'm gonna create a Q&A section. Here we go. Q&A. Ask your questions here. All right, so just take your chat at the very top, switch it from live or top, and switch it over to questions, and you can put questions in there. Tim is looking at them right now, waiting for the questions to show up. So more people selling than buying, huh, Tim?
Well, at least today.
Wow.
Yesterday was just the opposite.
My goodness.
Actually, one person brought a lot of stuff in.
All right. What do you think of primarily stacking constitutional or 90%?
If that's what you like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No, I agree.
And that's how I started.
And that's how you started.
Back before it was, in the early 80s, I went and bought bags of silver.
All right. Doesn't gold and silver and precious metals usually pull back and correct themselves around this time of the year every year? In other words, the summer doldrums starting up. Is there a cyclical nature to the spot price of gold over long periods of time? Annually?
Only when things are very normal. Because if you have something like Donald Trump as president, and
it ain't normal,
flying around the world, and I'm surprised that he has gathered as much support from various parts of the world. I mean, there are a lot of these companies. I guess they had some preliminary discussions with India, and India wants to continue those discussions. So even if they don't think they came out with a good deal, they're willing to go back and keep talking about it. And that's every country, except maybe the European Union. I don't understand why every country hasn't been encouraged to make their own deals, because they're vastly different. Every country in Europe is very different.
Question from David W. What do you think of Warren Buffett stepping down at Berkshire Hathaway?
I'm surprised it took so long. I think he wanted to make sure that the company was in good hands when he did that. And it sounds to me like they're in good hands.
I did a live stream Monday on mastering metals with Chase at SC Bullion and also James Anderson, and we broke it down. We actually played clips from his announcement, I should say, and talked about some of the stuff he was saying and the concerns he had over currency and the inflation and what we're doing. It's unsustainable. So I don't think he left because of that.
He doesn't like cryptocurrency at all because there's nothing that you can hold in your hand. Yeah. And that's old school, but he's always been that way. He doesn't change his tune.
Thoughts?
So are you going to sell your shares of Berkshire Hathaway?
I don't own any shares of Berkshire.
Oh, I thought you had 10 shares.
I wish. No, actually, I don't wish. I'm not in the markets much at all. Derek Schneider, thoughts on stacking gold pesos?
I have a lot if you need a lot, Derek.
No? All right.
Well, I keep buying these 50 peso coins. I don't need to be buying anymore. But yeah, we have 5s, 10s, some 20s, and a lot of 50 pesos. I think, Derek, you're going to find they're not terribly expensive. They are 1.2051 of a troy ounces in a 50 peso coin. It's a lot of money, but it's cheap gold, I think.
I'm going to ask you a few questions from the Super Chats. I'm going to bump them to the front of the line. We've got McGuire Stack, Super Chat at $5. How did the FBI letter turn out? We talked about that. Anything else on that FBI letter?
I think the FBI rep couldn't be more helpful, and was able to get a little more discussion about it.
That's right.
I think we're all on the same page. We want to prevent the scammers. I just wish there was some way of spotting them. That's my concern. I think the whole system, it's deplorable that people do that. I wish there was some way of spotting it.
Jacob Bryan, Super Chat at $2.79. Thank you so much. And Sammy, you're a mammy, Super Chat at $10. Grandpa told me, Tim, once upon a time you could walk into any bank, hand them over a $20 bill, and ask them for a $20 gold piece. Is that true?
Absolutely true.
Oh, man, I can't even imagine that. That would be incredible.
Up to 1933.
I know, but that's sound money right there, man.
Yeah.
The Broke Stacker, Super Chat at $5. You can have money or be happy. Keep your wallets empty and your pockets full. Thanks, buddy. David W., Super Chat at $5. Tim, do you feel like you're Mr. Wilson and Yankee is Dennis the Menace when he's in the shop? He loved Dennis like a nephew, though. You don't have to answer that.
Well, Yankee knows that I got about 4 cameras that are all high def, so
I really do know that,
No,
man. You've got great security.
I would trust Yankee in every phase of my business. He's been very helpful to me.
Thanks, buddy. Constitutional Remedy, $5. I recently sold 10% of my stack and bought adjacent land to grow food. The experience was gut-wrenching, but now I feel good about the trade. Well, you see people making these types of trades or purchase sales because of good reasons, things like that, right?
Yeah, good reason. I'm curious about where he is because on all the states on the East Coast, buying land just means you're going to pay outrageous taxes.
Isn't Florida Governor DeSantis?
Yeah.
Didn't he mention something about trying to get rid of property taxes? Didn't he say you shouldn't have
like
to
get
keep
rid of all
paying
taxes
on property you own every single year? It's crazy, he said.
Except there are places in Florida where they don't have enough money to run the school system, and that's where the taxes come in handy. Every town is a different budget.
Polecat dropped $5. I think CBDC is inevitable. I hope they will settle to create the digital, sacrificing our privacy, but pegging the digital currency to gold. So he thinks, Tim, like I do, that even if the states and the federal government, the executive branch, legislative branch says no to CBDCs, and there's all kinds of executive orders and bills going through both the Senate and the House. I've been reading them saying no to CBDC, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people believe it's inevitable anyways because of the way the global economy functions, the way the central banks work, and how it's getting into the system. The framework and the plumbing is in place. The question is, how is it going to be implemented? And will Donald Trump, I know I'm going to step on the third rail here, with his crypto craziness, actually make it easier for a central bank digital currency to slip in under the covers? So that's one concern. The other thing is, can it be backed by gold?
No, nothing can be backed by gold.
I know you feel that.
But in this country, it wouldn't make much sense for as long as we're the world's reserve currency, because everyone knows what our debt is.
Correct.
And the only reason to have a central bank digital currency is so you can cheat on your debt. And about 4:30 in the morning, you just go in the computer and write off a few $1 billion here and there. And that's true for almost every country in the world right now.
But is all bets off if we lose the reserve currency status?
A lot of bets are off. A lot of bets. That would be a catastrophe for this country. Because what has built our debt to where it is, the reserve currency.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
And only Trump can solve that.
Painter Jim 25, thank you for the $10 super chat. Heather Webster, thank you for the $10 super chat. Those are great. No question. Just a big thank you for your channel. I'm planning a trip from Pennsylvania just to visit Tim's shop. Well, Heather, when you do that, please email me at YankeeStacking@gmail.com. I'd love to meet you at Tim's shop. And then Tim Y super chat $10. I voted Trump thrice and believe in him, but his big, beautiful bill worries me. Thoughts, Tim?
Well, we need the tax cuts. His tax cuts from the last administration tried to destroy them, but we need those to continue. And there are some other benefits to the tax situation that he wants to put in. He also wants to keep corporate taxes down. He wants to take away taxes on Social Security, which is good. A lot of things like that that people don't know are actually in this big, beautiful bill. Trump is in the right on this one. But unfortunately, there are too many wishy-washy Republicans in the Congress, and they haven't been convinced yet.
Really? You have no concerns about the big, beautiful bill?
None.
Really? Okay.
My only concern is it doesn't get passed.
Yeah, that is a big risk, isn't it? That doesn't happen. All right, so I do have a question here that says, what is the small pocket device to check your coins? Well, actually, the pocket pinger, you've seen this multiple times. There is a link that's floating around in the chat.
Ask him about that little thing there. Come on, tell him about
this
all
thing?
About that, yes.
Okay. The gold gauge.
Is that what it's called?
The gold gauge, yeah. It is.
Give him more information about it.
Give him more. Well, no, it's made in the U.S. There it is right there. Gold gauge.
If somebody wants one, how they find it?
Do you mind? What are you doing, buddy? All right, let me just throw a link in the chat. This is what you do, guys. There's the link in the chat. Go check out the gold gauge. These things are flying off the shelf. All right. Where was I?
Very good. You handled that well.
It's tough to handle you sometimes, Tim. It really is. It's a lot of fun. All right. Let's see. How do you feel about Sunshine Mint 100-ounce silver bars? How do you feel about 100-ounce silver bars right about now?
Well, I actually have some Sunshine along with all the others that I have. Sunshine bars are very high quality. They're, like all the other bars that we've seen lately, none of them are any problem. There's some companies that have gone in and out of business that the wholesaler doesn't want to buy. But when I pressed them to see what I actually get if I send them a whole bunch of these bars they don't want to buy, he said, you get the refinery price. And that makes perfect sense, which means if I took them to our local refinery in Massachusetts, I would get the same price.
Wow. Well, McGuire Stack says, how do I find out if you are going to do a big sale? Through me? Should we figure this out, and then the next time I do a video, we've got it figured out?
The only problems are a lot of people are not right here in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And
I know.
the last time I had a 100-ounce bar at Spot, we sold a ton of them. I think we sold about 30 of them. But shipping them became a problem. And I went back and forth with FedEx. They were very helpful. And we decided on different ways of packaging them. The fact was I had to have double boxes. It was no more than 4 in a box. I had to bubble wrap the bars and put 2 east and west and 2 north and south and tape them together, and then a lot of stuffing.
And you sold those for Spot?
Yeah.
What if they came to your store and you didn't have to ship them, Tim?
Oh, yeah, sure. They would come to the store first. Well, there are a lot of things around that because we didn't post the date and the spot. So, a month later, people would say, I want to buy those bars for Spot.
I know. We got to be very careful the next time we announce something.
Yeah, we got to
exactly how much,
what the number is.
What the number is. All right, so we can work on that.
Yes.
You can the next time. See, the next time I get to your shop, I plan on guys doing a behind the scenes scouting session. I'm going to go on an adventure, and hopefully I don't get lost. He said, keep your phone just in case. I'm gonna try to identify some really interesting stuff, and then bring it. Show Tim. Maybe we can use that as put that in the cabinet. Let's figure out how we're going to sell those or spot deals. Yeah. We'll have to figure all that out.
And so right now we have
you got some amazing stuff.
Probably 60 or 70 kilos.
Oh my word! We need a kilo station. We need to figure this out. Yeah. we got a lot to talk about.
People be, taking a backhoe and backing into the door and scooping up all those kilos.
Got any free samples, says Steely Ballo. No, but we're going to be doing a lot of giveaways coming up. We've already, we haven't passed $100. So 1 ounce of Yankee silver is still safe, but we do have some other silver that we're going to be giving away at the end here. So don't go anywhere there. What do you think of pre-33 gold premiums? We'll do. What do you think pre-33 gold premiums will do in the future?
Give me that again.
What do you think the pre-33 gold coin premiums will do in the future?
Okay, the premiums on raw coins has not moved. The premium on certified gold has moved. It's gone up some.
Is gold going down? Alan wants to know.
Is
Don't
gold
say
going
I
down?
wish. Is gold going down?
Let me see. Without saying I wish.
Without saying I wish.
Maybe at the time we pass Basel or Basel III, I think it'll go. I think it'll go down. Well,
Really?
because the price of gold that's being posted is a paper gold price.
Exactly.
Okay, so if Basel III is supposed to diminish the value of paper gold,
Right.
and increase the value of Tier 1 assets gold.
Correct.
And so that should slightly depress that activity, which would become a much bigger risk.
It would
You
depress the
Paper
activity.
gold cannot be an asset, period.
It cannot be an asset. It has to be real, tangible, allocated physical gold.
Yes.
That, to me, is a bullish thing for the physical. They're going to need that,
Okay.
not these
Okay.
paper contracts, not ETFs.
Now we're
not
talking
the-
big banks.
Right.
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 So how are they going to acquire physical gold?
Trump will give it to them. I don't know. They have to buy it.
They would have to
gotta
buy it, but they'd be buying a Tier 1 asset
Sure.
with a Tier 1 asset. That doesn't make any sense. Because once you tie it up in the gold, that's money you don't have
It does
when they
make
come around
sense
to do
if the
value.
currency is depreciating. If they don't trust the currency,
Okay. Let's take
It
away
does
paper
make
gold
sense.
altogether.
Okay.
Paper gold sets the price. Okay.
currently, yes.
So we take that away, and that falls out of favor, and the price of gold goes down. Now, what's happened to your Tier 1 assets? They've taken a hit. Okay. A bank has to evaluate all of that because that paper money that we have is a Tier 1 asset.
A depreciating Tier 1 asset.
Well, yeah, but you're not supposing that gold will never depreciate if they make paper gold,
Obsolete.
no better than just fluff,
Right.
or feathers from a.
I think it'll decouple the price of gold from the COMEX and the futures market. I think it will also cause a run on the physical because the hypothecation that has gone on will be exposed. I think there's going to be an earth-shattering response because of this.
All the people who are discussing Basel or Basel III,
We really.
I'm gonna have to look it up and see what it is.
Basel. It's got to be Basel. It's got to be.
Okay, ask Siri.
All right. Yeah. I'll ask AI.
But anyway, yeah, ask AI.
Yeah, ask AI.
But anyway, it's.
In fact, I'll ask AI.
I don't
right
think
now.
it's going to be a positive. I don't think it's going to drive. You got a lot of people talking about it. And this is going to boost gold, but those people are trying to sell you gold. So you need to separate that from anybody who's giving you a direction that gold is guaranteed to go or silver is guaranteed to go. Make sure you evaluate the soundness of their recommendations with who they are and what they are trying to
All right,
promote.
I'm asking them right now. Let me expand this a bit. Basel III regulations are expected to have a positive impact on the gold price, primarily
Where did
due.
that come from? Did that come from
It's
Basel?
AI. You gotta trust AI. I'm joking, Tim. This is just for fun, man. I just tried it. And this is AI. I didn't go to ChatGPT. I just quickly threw it into Google. Primarily due to increased demand for physical gold. This is because Basel III reclassifies as a Tier 1 asset similar to cash, blah, 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 which means can count on it. Can count 100% of its value, not 50% like a Tier 3. 100% now, right?
Wait a second. Gold does not stay the same value. It's a risky asset. So this is that's going to boost gold because all the banks are going to go out there and convert all their cash and their mortgages and all the loans that they have coming in. It's going to make those the same as gold. So gold definitely go up. I mean, use some logic. How are they gonna, when they start taking their Tier 1 assets and buying gold, that means they don't have that Tier 1 asset anymore. And then if the price goes down $100, they got to reevaluate
I
that.
think you want it to go down so bad.
Well, I do want it to go down because it's too high.
You think it's too high?
It's the paper price. There's no
I
value in
think
paper.
the real non-paper price is a lot higher
Why?
because of its
Oh,
true
there's a great big, there's a worldwide shortage of gold. Oh, the gold's
This
running
is
out.
one of the few areas that Tim and I disagree on, but okay, that's
say,
fine.
where's
and,
this
and I got
worldwide
AI.
shortage?
I got AI on my side on Basel.
If you spent
Basel
a day like today in my store, you would say, hey, there's definitely no shortage of gold.
Basel III's new rules may discourage speculation in paper gold, as unallocated gold contracts and gold-backed ETFs will require additional capital reserves. The shift could lead to a more physically centered pricing model for gold, potentially reducing price manipulation, increasing transparency.
What gold
I don't know.
sets the price? Paper gold sets the price. So let's take it out of the picture. Why would it go up?
You know what I'm gonna do?
Every bank in the world converts its Tier 1 assets to gold. Then what happens? When the powers come over and they say, yeah, you're getting a lot of complaints from your customers because they go in, they ask you to take money out of your account and you refuse to give it to them. I mean, these banks, my last bank, TD Bank, my current bank, Bank of America, they're not so flush with Tier 1 assets that they can afford to buy a lot of gold.
Gold price will rise. Gold price will fall. I'll even add an option. Gold price will stay the same. Probably shouldn't do that, but I'm going to start the poll. There, boom. We can see what people think. They're going to probably side with you because you're Tim. But I'm curious. Guys, vote right there. I'm very curious to know what you think is going to happen if and when Basel III goes into effect. I think they're going to move it. Personally, I think they're going to move the goalposts.
There's nothing wrong with Basel III. I've read through it.
Yep.
It's an excellent program that's taken too long to be put in effect.
That's
for
cool.
one reason. Banks don't want it. And anything banks don't want is good for me with me.
We both want that. We both agree to that.
Well, their banks are going to have to be careful of what they put in those assets.
Yep.
And if they go out and buy gold and gold goes down, what are they going to do? They tell it, I'm sorry, we're going to have to hold your checks for a week.
Okay, I think I've been ignoring a few super chats. I saw some come in, so why don't I take a pause here and get back to that. Let's see. Hello, Yankee and Tim and chat. Thank you, JT Coin Rings. Good to see you, and thank you for that $2 super chat. We have a $20 super chat from AU Prospector. Do you think the Fed will cut rates in June? What do you think, Tim? Will they cut rates in June? I'm doing the super chats.
It depends on how much pressure
Yeah,
Trump
they're
puts
gonna
on. I think Jerome Powell is between a rock and a hard place, and he might just say, I'm too old for this crap. So
His term doesn't stop until next year. So he's got to deal with Trump for a while.
he looks worse every year.
You really think so?
Yeah, he
Is
has,
it bad?
he has to learn how to not put up with stress like me. I don't put
I
up
think they'll
stress.
cut. I think they'll cut a quarter.
I think Basel III or Basel III, whatever it's called, is a good move.
Yes.
But I don't think the banks are going to like it.
I think Wall Street's going to hate it. I think the hedge funds are going to flip out.
I think Basel IV will come around is just what I said. Never mind.
Never mind. Richard Taylor, Super Chat at $5. Tim, how do you feel about certified $5 gold? How do you feel about certified $5 gold liberties? Am I going down wrong venture?
Well, the $5 that's in favor right now is the Indian, and I have a whole bunch of those in the store. I think they're all 64s. It's a tough area. I see my number or the amount of gold I'm accumulating in Liberty Gold is it's taking off. I've got a lot more than I need.
Really?
And the Indian gold is I could use more of those in uncertified.
Raw. You just need raw gold.
Because I have lots of 2.5, 5s, 10s. I mean, 10 Indians, I probably have 10 of them certified. And they're all 64s.
Yeah, it's almost worth cracking those, isn't it?
Not at 64.
All right, fine.
If they were 62 or 61.
62s. Okay, 62s you would, right?
Yeah,
I like them, but I think that you pay a little bit more than the liberties, right? On everyone, no matter what, right? Just because.
Well, you asked me how many St. Guns. I just saw the picture.
Yeah, you had a lot. Do you still have all those?
I have more.
Oh.
I just bought more, 4 more 64s, maybe 5 more 64s.
Arjun Appeal, thanks for the buck. Super chat, appreciate it. Scott, super chatted $10. Appreciate you both. David W, super chatted $2. The big question tonight now is Yankee, a Dem, or a Rhino? Dude.
Well, no, that's a tough one.
Are you kidding?
He's a libertarian.
I'm not a libertarian. I'm a constitutional conservative. Always have been. Oh, brother.
Just used one of Trump's terms.
Bitbud super chatted $10. Not too late for spring cleaning at Tim's at the shop. Tim, cleaning. We need to.
Yeah, I'm not sure
I get
what's
a lot
behind.
of comments on this.
I think they're mice hiding behind a lot of these piles.
I'll do my best, folks. It's a gargantuan effort. We have talked about other options that could maybe make it a little bit more palatable upstairs, maybe a little bit easier on you. So you could just focus on the stuff that you do every day. But we'll see. $1 super chat from Superman Bash Fisher. Thank you.
You know what we're going to have a sale for?
Huh?
Mint sets and proof sets. We're going to have a big sale.
Oh, yes. We need that. Yes. All right. Thoughts on stacking? I say no. Small pocket. No. Let me scroll down. Should Trump not accept the plane? 888 the Great wants to know that. Should he take the plane or not?
He never calls me and asks my opinion.
He should.
But I think it's causing too much consternation. And if I were the president of the United States, especially Trump, when he has, there's some people around the world thinking of assassinating him. And it is coming from a Middle Eastern country.
Right.
And how many Iranians have been working on the prep of that plane. They're gonna, if he accepts the plane, they're gonna have to rip it apart.
Exactly.
Piece
I
by
wouldn't
piece.
trust it. Are you kidding me?
I think he's playing with the press because there's so much against
He's
it.
trolling them like every turn. It's like
That's what he enjoys doing.
He does. This is fun
But
for him.
the response from the audience in every one of his speeches has been incredible. These are people who, I'm beginning to think it's maybe safe to go to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix next year.
Wow.
It looks like they're almost civilized.
Well, it looks like I might have won the poll, Tim. So I'm going to end it right now.
Well, that's because people aren't thinking it through.
48% think gold price will rise.
It will until banks realize that they should have bought other assets that don't operate at the whim of the hedge funds.
Thule, thank you for letting me know that. I'll take care of it probably after the stream. Is it okay to stack gold, silver jewelry? I don't consider that stacking.
It's
but
too complicated.
It's not bad. The one area where I think gold, especially gold jewelry, comes in handy is bugging out. If you need to leave a country, if you're watching from a nation where you're thinking is bugging out, then maybe you want to wear your gold out of there. How much? Let me make these a little bit bigger for you. I'm sorry. If I'm traveling to see Tim, can I set an appointment?
No. Some days we have only 4 people in line, and some days we have 40. And it's not predictable.
Yep.
And then when somebody walks in with his entire silver and gold collection to sell, wow, I can't not go through it. If somebody wants to leave, a box of coins to go through, that's fine. One thing, but it's almost impossible to make an appointment.
Shibui 99 super chat at $5. When it comes to silver and gold prices, I don't hold my breath to up or down. That's smart. You shouldn't. If you're neurotically checking the spot price all the time, I honestly think you might be in the wrong asset class. This is a long-term wealth insurance policy, not a way to get rich. Jerky Boy 2, Super Chat $2. Trump 2028 versus Yankee constitutional rigged nation. My word. Thank you. And 28 Baby Shark Super Chat at $5 said, do you think we will see a breakthrough on stagnant spot prices on silver and platinum anytime soon? Stagnant. Silver's been stagnant, hovering around the 30 to 35, right?
Silver is controlled for a very good reason.
Yep.
And their tier 1 asset at the COMEX is
silver's not going to be a tier 1 asset.
They're not going to make any percentage, whatever it is.
Yeah. All right. So what do we got here? How are we in a society that if you are incapacitated, a bank will not allow anyone else to deposit cash into your account so you can pay your bills? P.S. Tim and Yankee are awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, I've been through that. That's very interesting. Yes, all they do is take all your information, including your social security number, and open up a case against you at the IRS if you deposit money in somebody else's account, even if they are incapacitated.
Wow. Jeez. I don't think that's right. Yeah. Well, with a CBDC, you might not have to worry about that.
I don't know. Seems like they're anxious to get their hands on my money.
And speaking of banks, how much money should someone keep in the bank? Only the very minimum amount that you need to pay your bills.
To meet your responsibilities.
Yeah. Be your own bank. Be the bank. All right. So just started. Tim, what should I buy? Tracy wants to know what to buy. We always get this question.
Well, what you like and what you can afford. Don't spend more money than you can afford to. Mm-hmm. And people always ask that, when's a good time to buy gold? I say, when you have the money.
Exactly.
You can't control the markets.
Out of 2.67 billion Mercury dimes minted, how many do you think still exist?
A hell of a lot.
A lot of Mercs.
I'm surprised every day when somebody brings in $100 worth of Mercury dimes. Happens all the time.
Do you think the 1 ounce gold Queen's Beast completer coin is a good investment for long term?
I have a lot of the 2 ounce ones, and they haven't been that popular, so I'm not sure.
I don't think so. Very few collectible gold or silver coins hold their value over the long term. Short term, yeah, you can flip them, but Be careful.
They're nice coins. They're
They are
very good
beautiful.
quality.
Yep.
But it takes two people to buy and sell a coin.
So if somebody brings a completer into your store 3 years from now, because you're still going to be in business 3 years from now.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I may be on a computer screen, an AI version of me.
You know what's really trending right now is baby AI. And I've been thinking about putting you through the AI generator and creating a Tim Marshner baby AI behind the counter. It's hilarious. Did you see one Trump baby?
I think I saw one or two of those.
Oh,
yeah.
it's trending like crazy on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. So anyway, in 3 years, though, if somebody brings in a completer, how much premium what are they going to get?
No premium.
Exactly. They're going to get the spot.
You've seen some of the prices that a wholesaler is posting. It's getting worse because they're still getting buried.
But if it's a collectible, what do you usually tell people? Try it, sell it on eBay. Maybe there's somebody that will give you some
that
premium.
is a collectible market.
A collectible market, yeah. All right. Your new test are used for silver or just gold? Gold Classic Rider. The this one right here, the gold gauge, is specifically for the most common 1 ounce gold counterfeited coins. So they've focused more on convenience, portability, accuracy on those 3 coins. That's the gold American Eagle, the gold Canadian Maple Leaf, and the gold Krugerrand. Do you think copper will ever be good for bartering?
When we return to the Stone Age.
Jeez. Let's hope we never get there. Nick super chatted $2. Is gold still a buy at these prices and GSR at 100 to 1? Actually, it's below that now, right? Because of gold's drop.
Gold went up
get
again
99?
today. It was going up when I came in.
What is the GSR right now? It is 99.146. So,
Oh, that's come down a lot.
yeah.
It's actually gone up since yesterday.
Is it still worth buying gold? Yes. I believe so. Because I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in it because I'm a prepper and a prepper stacker, and I do not plan on selling this stuff for fiat currency. So for me, it's a hedge that you want to have. And if you don't have any gold, I think you need to get some. First, silver.
Plus,
then
it's
gold.
going to be a tier 1 asset, so your bank will love to steal it from you.
Oh, don't say that.
And when you put it in your
They
safe,
don't know you have it, right?
well, when you put it
Well,
in your
they know
safe,
you have it.
you put it in your safety deposit box, and if it's not there,
I'll tell you one thing. I know my bank doesn't know I have gold.
that's good.
That's the way to keep it. Keep it anonymous.
Actually, your bank has already told me they're watching these videos. They're pretty sure they've seen all your gold.
Sure. I know. Then they can go after Yankee. They can go after Yankee. Wait, quick, check for the accounts. Where's this Yankee? When will the spot price go back up? Cheetah, kid. Who knows?
Well, it's going to go back
do you
up.
know when?
Yeah, it's going to go up, and then it's going to go down.
Oh, and
And
then.
then it's going to go up.
Oh, wow.
And after that, it's going to go down a little bit. And a few days after that, it's going to go up.
Luis Fernandez, does Tim sell rhodium?
Nope. There's no purpose for rhodium even being in existence.
Where can you get a coin pinger? Check out the link that's scrolling around in the chat. Mods, feel free to throw that in there or in the description of any one of my videos. Tracy, Tim, do you think silver will go up? We talked about gold.
Same answer.
So are you sure?
Same
Are you sure?
answer.
It's exactly the same answer?
It is the same answer.
How much gold should one hold to retire? Current gold is 15% of my portfolio. I'm at 18. I'd like to get to 20%. Though I'm technically retired. I'm still doing YouTube. It's not a bad idea to have a definitely more than the
It's an interesting one from
financial
Bob.
analysts tell you to have, which is like 5 to 10%. That's too small.
It's whatever you think. I think that, if you, let's say you want to put a certain amount of money into gold and silver, just keep in mind Silver is a lot of bulk and a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
And if let's say you're talking $10,000, maybe 2 gold coins and the rest in silver,
Right.
or 1 and the rest in silver.
Yep.
You're talking $100,000, it's going to be probably 85 to 80 or 85% gold,
Right.
just because of the bulk of the silver would be. And I have people call me all the time. If I have a bunch of money coming in, and it's not to quote anybody, I was thinking about getting 50% in gold and 50% in silver.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking right away. You're talking like 3 monster boxes of silver.
Right.
So if you don't mind that, and you have the place to put it, 50% will work. We find most people, if they're putting a lot of money into gold and silver,
More gold.
more gold.
More gold.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like the stack dense. It's one of the stacking the Yankee way tenets there. Stack dense. So if you got a lot, make sure I have twice as much in the gold value-wise than I do silver, because I don't want to have a lot of silver to have to move around. And to that point, Dan Outdoors once said, kid is graduating college soon. Should I gift her 1 ounce gold or 100-ounce silver? I know what I would do. What would you do?
Oh, I know exactly what I would do.
Uh-huh.
1 ounce
gold. Absolutely. I think your daughter will appreciate it more. I think it will impact her more. I think it will not turn into a doorstop. 100-ounce gold could be a doorstop.
Yeah.
No, I don't put my doorstop. I don't have 100.
They make good
gold.
doorstops.
They do, right? Go with the gold. Is it okay to stack? All right, no, we already did that. Let's scroll down near the bottom here. We've been, all right.
What was above there? I think there was a good question above there.
Which one?
I don't know.
What is Basel 3? Watch my video on Monday. What is a
Are you done? Are you finished recording all that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm editing it.
Oh, because we had a lot of discussion since then.
I know we have, but I got to get
And
the
opinions
video
are
out.
really important.
I know opinions are important. We can do a follow-up.
When we were talking about it, I hadn't read it. Now that I've read it, I'm saying, well,
your
this is
opinion
actually-
didn't really change, though. Your opinion really didn't change. I've just listened to the entire video and edited it. Your opinion is the same. It's good.
Exactly.
It is a
Except
good
that
thing.
I wasn't confirmed as supporting it, and I am definitely now
Good.
after reading it.
And that's impressive. You really read it. Man, that's good. Do you think 1 ounce of silver will hit 40 to 50 by year end? My prediction was $40 sometime this year. Tim's is 38.
And I may pair that off a little.
Oh, really? No, you can't. No, you're stuck. All right. 28 Baby Shark super chatted $2. What Sigma Pro would you recommend buying and why? The one you have is an older version, right? They have newer Sigma at Metalytics.
It's perfect for my
What
purposes.
you do, right? Yeah, no, I'm not saying it doesn't work.
I think
I'm
it's a
just saying they're
software
newer ones.
generation. It's the second generation of software.
They're not cheap. They're like $8,000. So I mean,
What, the new ones are?
yeah, they're expensive. So anyway,
What I have is not that good on jewelry. And we've had a couple of questions about jewelry we haven't really answered.
is it still all right? I missed it. Where was it? I just feel bad I didn't get to the end here. I don't see. Do you see any? Does Tim drive a Corvette or Ferrari?
No, I drive about 25,000 miles a year. And if that was a Corvette or a Porsche or a Ferrari, they'd be so deteriorated and so pricey to get fixed.
Porsche. You like Porsche?
I do, but I'd love to have a Ferrari, except I wouldn't be a daily driver.
Thoughts on lower than expected inflation numbers? Thank you, Joe C, for that $2. We talked a little bit about inflation. It is lower than expected, but I'm not sure that it's going to stay there. We'll see. Let's see. I'd love to know your thoughts on copper. My dad got me a bar the other day, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. It says McGuire Stacks, $5 super chat. Thank you. Copper bar. I don't stack it.
I don't do anything with copper.
No. You could convert it maybe to silver. But if your dad gave it to you, keep it. 28 Baby Shark, another $2. Colin Eyeball, Super Chat at $1. And Eric Bauer, Super Chat at $5. How's the Tim Yankee round coming? I was thinking the OK would make a great privy mark. Well, actually, have I showed you the latest design?
No.
Okay, I can't show it to everybody.
I think the Trump organization wants to ban it, though.
They should fault. No way, man. It's better than theirs. I'm sorry. It has your effigy on the front. It is awesome, guys. Your profile is beautiful. And I love the name under it, what they put. Yankee Stacking's around it with the 13 stars, and on the reverse is the AOK. It is going to be something else when this comes out. And final revisions is at the designers. So I'll show you it after this live stream before you go. Does Tim ever buy hand-poured silver? And if so, what does he pay?
That depends on whose hands and who's pouring it. You don't want to get involved with
You really don't.
Something that you can't absolutely prove that it's 100% or 9999.
Mm-hmm.
It's too risky. And I have a whole lot of bars that are like that.
Here's the deal. I have poured silver. I have it from people that I know, and I love the designs. They're really cool. I mean, I'm displaying a few. I had one over here. I have my own. Look at this. I got this one. This is one of the original Yankee Stacking 2-ounce poured rounds. Let's see, there we go. A-OK. Okay. This, Silver Dragons did this. It was a prototype back in 2020. Now, Tim, if I brought that into your shop, would you buy it? Actually, that's a stupid question because it's from me. You'd never buy it. If someone else brought that in and tried to sell, what would you do with that? To take a hike?
I look at that part of the price list that is going to a refinery, and I might pay that. It's quite a bit below.
Okay, that is below.
It's quite a bit below. Yeah. And if it didn't pass muster on the verifier, I would hand it right back to you.
If you buy this stuff, you're doing it because it's fun. It's a collectible. It's sentimental. Do not stack poured silver. Okay, and maybe if it's Engelhard or Johnson Matthey, that's different, right?
Yeah, there are a lot of good silver bars that nobody wants to buy. A lot of them.
Do you wash your hands after holding a fake dirty alloy?
I wash my hands all day long. I have a canister of Clorox wipes. As far as I'm concerned, money is the dirtiest thing that you can touch.
Filthy lucre. Steve Gilbert, hello. When will be your field trip to the wholesaler? As promised, many times.
Boy. Considering the fact that after this, I'm going to go back to the store and work on packages, we got to get that monkey off my back before we can do that.
Yeah, and I still think there are other options that we should explore before you do that. And we have. We've talked about them.
Suggestions.
We've talked about them. Even over dinner, we've talked about them.
Well, here's the thing. Other companies that deal in gold and silver are certainly willing to buy this, and that, but not so willing to buy those over there.
Throw them all together and get a price. Let's see. Last few questions here. Yankee, do you think the U.S. really has 8,133 metric tons of gold?
Well, if considering the fact...
Hey, he asked me.
Well... He did definitely ask you. And I can't wait to hear your answer.
Yes.
And where is it?
Spread all over the country. And a lot of it's in New York.
A lot is in New York.
Yeah.
And some of it's there holding down treasuries that belong to other countries.
Do you? On all seriousness, do you think we have that much or the stated amount?
Well, last time it was measured, it was like 8,400 metric tons. Since it's come down, that means somebody's keeping track of it.
I'm less concerned about the bar being there than I am how many claims on that bar are there. How much has it been leased out? Who says it's their bar? I want the paperwork behind the physical bars. I don't know if we're ever going to see that.
Doge is working on that.
Doge is working. Yeah, what happened? Haven't heard a thing.
Same
thing with the Epstein file. Same thing with
Doge is getting ready to connect the dots. And behind the scenes, there are phone calls going around to certain congressmen and senators saying, you maybe should reconsider running for office this 2 years.
All right, I'm going to end on B's statement here. Not a question, but just want to thank you both for all you do. Very illuminating, Tim. You are my favorite New Hampshireite. Thanks, Yankee.
Jimmy Gibson has an interesting question.
Oh, no, it's not the end. All right, nope, you saw it. We'll do it. Jimmy, Tim and Yankee, evening guys from Northeast Mississippi. Do y'all deal in currency like $500 and $1,000 notes?
I'm assuming you're talking about U.S. currency and not Confederate currency. I don't know that for a fact, but there's so little of it around, $500 and $1,000 notes,
right,
that if you come across one at a good price, grab it. They are disappearing very rapidly.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it, man. We're
Are
going to
there
end
more
the
good
Q&A.
questions we should answer?
Do you want to answer more? I'm trying to be sensitive. I'm not trying to kick you out, man. I'll keep you here for another hour. But all right, more questions. More questions. Let's see. Do you see the Yankee went on nickel in the metal? At the shop
No, we
owner?
don't buy a nickel.
Okay.
We test if anybody asks us me to ask something, we just throw it on the verifier. No big deal.
When will you run for president? Chai Sharon wants to know.
30 years ago. You missed that? You didn't see me?
Yeah, I missed it. By the way, I never really answered Eric Bauer's question. It's coming soon, probably this summer.
What is the question?
The round, the Yankee Tim round. Will you go to SD Bullion with me when we do the great reveal and open them up for the first time ever?
I suppose.
Would you?
Somebody,
I'd love to go with you. You know, I'll get little stacks to come with us. I would love that.
Can I take a truckload of stuff to them?
You want to drive to SD Bullion with a bunch of gold and silver?
I've got tons of stuff that I can get rid of.
Is that what?
If they'll buy it.
Word, a road trip to SD Bullion.
Well,
we'll need to talk about it. I was thinking of flying there with you, but to see it,
can't take
you can't go without
tons
bringing
of silver on a plane.
No, I know that. I wasn't expecting you to bring anything.
Maybe we should get them to come out here.
That's one of the options I've been talking to you about, man.
With a big vehicle to load up.
Exactly, and then take us back. We go back with them. Is that it? I don't know. I'd rather fly with you over to SD Bullion. I think. I don't know.
It's just finding the time. That's all.
Newark, huh?
Just finding the time.
I know, but if it was driving too, that's going to take more of your time.
It does take
a
more
lot
of my
more.
time.
All right, I got to do something about that gold and silver, man. Not silver. I think you're okay with the gold. You've got the gold. You don't have gold you're trying to get rid of.
Not really.
It's the silver.
I do have a lot of foreign gold coins and a lot of, today I even had a Ford Ducat come in. That's the big thin one.
Yeah.
And I guess 3 20 francs. I already have tubes of 20 francs.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I mean, a lot of this stuff. I mean, I don't mind selling a lot of that for a spot if we have a decent spot at some point. What's Tim's favorite color?
It's got to be.
I bet you
let
can.
me think.
Yeah, I think you could probably guess.
Oh man, it's got to be something in the bluish hue. It's blue. It's all blue. Blue's your favorite color.
Could be. It's interesting. When I recover gold and silver from old electronics, where's the best place to sell it? Well, if you ever find out, is it NASA?
NASA Smith, yeah, or NISA. NASA.
Let me know when you find somebody who buy that stuff.
Let's see. Eric, thanks again for another $3.34 super chat. We are now at 150. So that's an ounce. Let's do one of these because we broke through 100. So that'll be part of the giveaways coming up. Tim, you were very generous with giveaways tonight. You offered up 2 things, but I'm going to hold one of them back until we break through that 200. This one, you offered a colorized American Eagle for a giveaway.
Yeah, it used to be Yankee's favorite coin.
Oh, come on now. It actually is, as long as I put it in xylene and get rid of that plastic, which I will offer to do to whoever
That was actually a
wins
pretty
this.
good version of it.
No, none of them are very
even
good.
the sun is bright yellow.
No, none of them are good, in my opinion. So whoever wins this, I'll give you the option, colorized or have that removed. So that will be something else we'll give away. When we break 200, look at this. Silver bullet. That is so cool. I love the silver bullets. These are... I should know this. Looks like a 9.
Yeah. Yankee didn't tell you that he tried to fire that and it broke the firing pin in his pistol.
Jeez.
It was a good 40.
I
It was a
didn't try
good
to
quality
fire
45.
this. Is it 45?
It certainly looks like a 45.
I can't tell. It is a little bigger than I think the 9.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it is bigger. So, yeah, I can't tell by the weight. But, yeah, 45 right here, guys. We'll be giving that away hopefully really soon. And then we'll see what else we give away tonight. Actually, check these out. Look at this. This is from Almost Homestead. Sent magnets, brand new magnets, coin and stamp shop. There's Tim.
An ugly cuss, huh?
Take a look. Here's Yankee. We got a Yankee magnet. That's cool. Thank you, Almost Homestead. And then the classic. This is the original.
I'm going to have to get suspenders.
Yeah, right. You and suspenders? I don't know. All right, let's put those down. We'll give away those also tonight. And then some other silver. We'll get some constitutional given out, maybe another round. We'll see what comes up. Any other questions here, Tim? Sign them, somebody says. All right, so if you want the winner, actually, should you sign them? I can get you to sign them. Okay, I'll have Tim sign these. Or I'll sign this one, and Tim will sign his, whoever wins those. Save the silver bullet. You'll need it when you take the truck of metals to SD Bullion.
Are there a lot of werewolves out there?
Yeah. What's the highest over melt we should pay as stackers for silver?
Oh, boy, that's a loaded question. I would say you do the math because it's going to be slightly over the math. There's a lot of silver that right now, I think most of what you see is going to be between $35 and $36 per troy ounce. And, we still have stuff at $35. The rounds that advertise for a competitor, I sell those for $34. And as a result, I may be running out of those.
Let me give you my rule of thumb.
What's your rule of thumb?
For gold, I like 5% or less premium. 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, maybe 5%.
If the way it's presented is in dollar amounts over.
I know. It takes a little bit of calculation, but I like to do it this way. It's easier for me to say it too, right? Instead of the dollar amount. So 5 or under, 4% for gold. Rounds, bars, 10% silver or under, and sovereign, silver, eagles, maples, no more than 20. Keep it in the teens. That's my rule of thumb. So, take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, how that plays out, couldn't tell you.
Yankee, what made you decide to buy gold? Wow, there's a long story. I'll try to summarize it really, really short. 2009, global financial crisis, the Great Recession. Realized that we had passed the Rubicon when we went all in on QE 1, 2, 3, 4, tarp, everything. And I said to Mrs. Yankee, we got to protect our wealth. And I bought the Yankee Cannon. That was a hard sell. Gold was $1,000 an ounce. That was hard. But I said, we've got to have something that's tangible that's going to be a hedge and a wealth protection for us. Insurance, wealth insurance. So I bought gold. I wanted to stack dense. I wanted something that I could have very small that I could just hold in one hand. That's really started the gold stacking, and gold to me at my age is a better metal for me to put more fiat currency into. However, I love silver. I stack it primarily as a potential barter material in a worst case SHTF scenario.
There's a question over here that's interesting.
Yeah.
Down at the bottom of this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This one?
Opinion on gold bars outside of their assays. If you mean off the card, I definitely have opinions like that.
Boy, should I lay this? Can I?
I like to fondle my gold is kind of the
TMI.
A little
too much information.
Key to that
Yeah.
question. If you have a gold bar that is on an assay card, I would not take it off the card.
But wait.
Because you can always test it on a verifier.
But those verifiers don't always test right? So we won't mention names, but you did watch it. We watched another video, you and I, and this person was saying, oh, rip the gold bar out of the assay card because you need to dip it in. You need to put acid on it to really test it. You can't trust.
And then when it tests good with acid, then you take it to the refinery.
Pretty much. This
This
person won't even, he says he won't even buy gold bars now. Again, anonymous. We won't mention who.
Well,
Who's on
I have
YouTube.
some experience with that.
Okay.
Did not test on the verifier. But if you slid it this way or that way, it went back in the brackets.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took it to my wholesaler, and he tested it, and he said, I'm going to send it to the refinery. So I sent it to the refinery. They assayed it, and they said, it's fake. Okay. And there was one test that didn't pass, the deflection test. They put it on the machines, with the dimensions of the bar.
Mm-hmm.
It should take a certain amount of pressure without bending or breaking, and didn't pass that test. So this center had been filled. Now, if you put acid on that, it would pass with flying colors. But the center of that bar was not gold.
Probably tons.
And that's why the verifier was mostly outside the brackets. But if you slid it right over, then it went just inside the brackets.
This is 34 grams. My guess is if you put acid even on this, it'd probably test out because it's tungsten deep inside. Don't take your gold bars out of the assay card.
Don't take it out of the assay
Don't rip
card.
them out.
Because it's easy to test them on the card.
Yep.
Mining stocks, you could answer that. I finished with mining stocks from a long time ago.
Yeah. Very, very little. 3% of my wealth portfolio. Nothing more. Only what I could afford to lose. But I do think there's a lot of upside, depending on what you buy.
Look at this.
There's
Look
a
at this
lot
question
of
here.
bad ones too.
Does Tim have a shopkeeper? It seems like he has to step over things. I'm
Okay,
practicing.
here we go.
I'm practicing my ballet, and if you're going to criticize my dancing,
In all seriousness, I really do worry sometimes. I don't want to find you on the floor, so
yeah,
you're good. I have to admit, I've stumbled more than you have.
well, I mean, I bought so much silver today that I'm going to have to find other arrangements for storing stuff.
We gotta.
Maybe I'll go next door and get a cabinet. I really could use a cabinet.
All right. Well, you need
Right.
room for the cabinet, so
Dude,
you really.
I know
do.
exactly where I'm going to put this cabinet too.
I don't know where the stuff that's where the cabinet's going is going. I have gold that I have recovered, like Street Tips. Street Tips is really cool. The way he can refine the gold and pull it out of different things. Can Tim recommend a best way to sell that 24 karat gold, and if he would convert it to silver. All right. So
Where are you looking?
yeah, sorry, this one. So basically he's refining it. He's pulling it out of electronics and other things. You can actually just get that gold, and he's gotten it down. I guess he's gotten it to 24 karat. It takes a lot of chemicals and a lot of time.
It does, and that's the only
It's
reason
dangerous
I don't do
too.
it. But I do have some electronics. If he wanted to buy them from me, he can test.
But what's the best way to sell
Here's
it?
one from Dean.
All right. I don't know how to sell you 24 karat gold, and I wouldn't convert it to silver. All right.
No, it's too complicated.
Yeah.
Does the glue on the assay card of a gold bar come off eventually? I've seen it come off a lot on PAMP bars. And why that is, I'm assuming it dries out and then the card will separate. There is a fix. It's as simple as getting a glue stick and putting it on, between the two parts very thinly and very evenly, and then with a good press, but you got to put the bar back in there. Don't do that unless you're sure that's a good bar. But yes, I've seen a lot of these cards come apart. In fact, I have one that has so much tape on it that I guess I'm not going to be able to fix it. I mean, Scotch tape all over.
Yeah.
Are you going to Vegas Grand Prix? Yeah, I plan to every year.
Don't every year.
It's got to be convenient for the people in my family who go.
Man, Frank, this is a tough question. How many ounces of gold and silver should be owned by a 60-year-old? How much debt do you have? What's your risk tolerance? What other assets do you have? How much do you It's hard to give a flat answer to that, right? So I look at it more from a percentage standpoint. My goal is 20% of my wealth in gold and silver. That's my rule of thumb, right? So, and I'm 59. Okay, so I'm not far from you, Frank. We'll see if I get to it. I'm at 18 right now, so I'll keep on stacking. Will silver eventually run out in terms of mining? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, and think gold will do another huge spike, says Gurkus.
I don't think it's going to be huge. I think they took a lot of criticism from the last one.
Really? Criticism?
Yeah.
I didn't hear any who's being criticized.
Well, I look at Bloomberg all the time, and
Okay.
I was trying to think of the company I was going to put in there. One company is. They said that gold is taking a drop because they're moving their money out of it, and it was a big company. I got to find that for you. Favorite thing to do on Sundays? Well,
Yeah.
depending on the Sunday, I went to church early, even though I didn't have a lot of sleep the night before on Easter. I wouldn't miss that, and it was actually terrific because the kids ran the service,
No.
little kids. And their performance was mind-boggling. The singing was all on key. The priest did all the things that he has to do, and everybody just enjoyed listening to these kids, and they got a lot of applause.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. It was like a gift from God. But my favorite thing to do on Sundays, if there's not a Grand Prix on, sleeping.
You catch up on your sleep on Sunday.
When
I
there's
try
a
not
Grand
to
Prix,
call
I
you on
usually
Sunday.
wake up for the Grand Prix.
Is that a space shuttle 1 ounce round? So cool. Jonathan, yes, it is. In fact, tell you what, we get to 200 super chat total. I'll do both mine and Tim's. All right, so we get 2 for 1 when we hit 200. We'll put that over here just to get it over in line because I think we'll get there. Tim, do you plan on retiring within the next year?
No, not within next year. If I retired today, it'd take me about 10 years to get out of that place.
You've got a lot of work to do before that ever happens.
That's right.
And we got to start that process. All right, fine.
When are you guys going on a fishing trip? My father was an avid fisherman. And, he had a place on the lake, and I would go there. And when I was really young, we used to fish for snappers, and then we'd take them home and eat them. And that was a lot of fun. Very good fish. But as my father aged, he enjoyed fishing because it was on a quiet lake. He was a professor, so he gave him time to think. But he baited his hook. I never did. And I never told him that I didn't bait the hook because it was fun, talking in a very low voice and listening to what my father had to say. And he was the smartest guy I ever met in my life. But it was just the enjoyment sitting in a boat, with a hook in the water. And, I'm not sure what fish are attracted to a hook with no bait, but it was just fun being with my father. And, we didn't catch many fish until they started to stock that pond. Then I definitely didn't bait the hook.
Some of the best times I ever had with my dad were fishing. My dad and I loved to fish. He was my fishing buddy. I remember the last time we went fishing too. We did it a lot when I was younger, and I don't think I ever remember time flying by so fast than when we were on the water together fishing. And we got to the point in which we knew each other so well. It was like the spot that we want to fish. It was like we both look at each other and like, yep, you go. I'll go over here. But we didn't even have to talk sometimes. We just knew each other so well. But we had some great conversations on the water. Special memories. Love fishing. Ellie wants to know if you have siblings now. We're getting into family life here.
Well, Yankee and
share it?
Yankee, to answer that question, Yankee and I probably wouldn't go fishing because I would make him.
Yeah, answer the question.
I would make him miserable.
I don't know who would bug each other worse. No, we would have a good time whatever we do together. Oh, that's funny. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is like an AMA. Ask me anything here going here. Yankee, if you or Tim could start life back over at 18, knowing everything you know now, would you do it? I don't want to go back to 18. No way. No way.
I would.
No. I could see myself in the 20s. Now, that was fun. But 18,
Well, let's see. 'Cause I don't know what I started. I started college at probably 18.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, there's some.
I thought I knew everything.
There were some specific.
Until I grew up and
there were
realized I
some
didn't.
specific instances that I would have changed.
Yeah, I can think of quite a few things I would change. Oh, my word. Enough of that. Hopefully gold and silver stay at the price they are until I go to Tim's shop in August, says Paul. You want it to be a lot lower for when Paul shows up at your
I still want it to be
shop.
one. Right now, with all the coins that I've bought, gold coins I've bought in the last 3 months, I'm losing money on every sale. But I can't control the markets, but it's I'm not going to raise the price just because the price went down and now I'm losing money.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Right.
It's stay in the current market, and I love seeing it go down. So let's hope we have more.
Is the ping test foolproof? I have tested dozens and dozens of types of silver and gold, and it has never, ever given me a false positive or missed a fake. Tim, I heard you talk about going to a F1 race. I believe it was last year.
Oh, gosh. Well, 2023, we went to 5. Last year, let's see, Canada, it was 2024. We didn't go to a couple that I go to every year, but I went to Austria, and that was terrific. That was absolutely terrific.
You had a lot of fun on that trip.
It was eye-opening because the Formula One did that. They told all these venues not to have military flights because it doesn't meet our climate objectives and all that stuff.
Right.
Austrians don't care about that. The number one team is from Austria. It's sponsored by Red Bull. They're from Austria. The track is owned by Red Bull, and they had all these the climate acceptable, pre-race flights by gliders and then the guys in the fly suits. Were really terrific. But then at the end, they had 4 F-16s. The last thing they did was went down the straightaway at eye level, and when the ground shook, it was really amazing. So I guess they didn't follow the climate objectives of Formula One. Yeah, the Austrian Grand Prix was terrific, and we're still going to be going to more this year.
All right, I think we're almost out. Is 50 to 1 a good gold to silver stacking ratio? I started stacking this year, and I'm about that ratio. I think you're saying, Steely Ballo, that you're buying 50 to 1, 50 silver ounces to every 1 ounce. That seems, I don't know. It depends on a lot of things. That's a little tight for me. I'd like a little bit more silver ratio there, maybe 100 to 1 or 200, depending on where you're at. But it's not wrong. It's not bad. In fact, I think at some point, a few years ago, I was buying at 50 to 1. That was my buy ratio, but it did change. And then Jake says, Rig Nation. We are going to have to do some giveaways. So we did pass 200. So let me just shout out some super chats here. Freeman McCoy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Brandon Avery, super chat at $5. 23-year-old stacker here. 23-year-old Tim just started recently with some inspiration from you gentlemen. Thank you for all you do. Well, thank you. Appreciate you watching. Jerky Boy 2 super chat at $5. AU Prospector super chat at $20. Tim, do you buy natural gold nuggets?
No, they're too risky.
Yeah, would that test out well?
No, not with any of the equipment I have.
Yeah, exactly. I can't ping it. I couldn't put it on the gold gauge.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think a seasoned assayer can probably estimate what's in it. But
Jerky Boy 2 super chat at 20. Now we are over $204. So we will give away the Columbia Spirit of Columbia NASA round right here. That's cool. We'll do that. Tribute to the 7 new stars in the heavens, lost but not forgotten. And then the 45. All right. And of course, you have to sign these, Tim. So why don't you put your John Hancock on that with this. And this one, too.
are we doing it this in red?
Well, it might stand out better than black, no?
No, it's just asking.
Yeah. I don't know. Give it a shot. You can push that microphone out of your way to do it if you want. And while he's doing that, I will get things set up for giveaways. Of course, I have to sign this too. That is so funky. Thank you. Thank you, Almost Homestead. That is a lot of fun. I love it. And then, let's see. So let's move this around. I am going to stop the Q&A section here. Let's shut that down.
I signed across my face.
Huh? Oh, you did? Don't worry about it. It's okay. You can sign it anywhere you want. Just, by the way, the wheel, I just want to throw this out to all my Not Rigged Nation friends. Yes, the wheel is not rigged. It's just a joke. Put in the chat right now, Not Rigged Nation, please. All right, so we'll put these over here. Let's give away some dimes. Let's do, let's see, 5 dimes, silver dimes, right there. And then we'll do, I'm getting kind of low on the constitutional. Then we'll do the Morgan round.
You doing that one too?
That's me, actually. I'll take the red Sharpie.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll sign this one.
I should probably head out.
Oh, are you going? All right.
Yeah, I got to go back to the store. And Jack came back from West
Oh,
Virginia.
good. Oh, wow. You got a lot of work piled up for him, don't you?
Yeah, Yeah, well, plus we're getting more rain, which means the grass is going to go
Don't
from a
say
foot
that.
high.
Are we going to get more rain, really?
From a foot high to 2 feet high. Pretty soon.
Oh, man. All right. So I'm just lining up the giveaways here. And then, of course, SD Bullion's giveaway at the end. But thank you, Tim, for these. That was really generous. I
We have
appreciate
a lot of
it.
stuff that we can throw into
Oh.
the giveaway. Yes, a lot of stuff in the store. As you're rummaging around, you'll probably find some good stuff.
Wow. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing all the treasures back there, guys. All right. So I will let Tim split, and I'll be back to do the giveaway. So don't go anywhere. All right, we're back. It's so funny. We go to that pause there, and so I can walk Tim out, and he just keeps talking. He's like, Basel 3. I know what they're thinking. It's gonna cause gold to go up, but only initially. He's still talking away. It's so fun. I was like, Tim, I got to get back to the giveaway. So speaking of which, I am actually starting to capture names again. I wasn't capturing names before. After the first giveaway we did, I forgot to start the capture up again, which is not a problem because I'm capturing all the names right now and have been for maybe a few minutes. So put something in the chat. Make sure you put something in there. Whoops. And I will give it a little extra time here. Isn't this so beautiful? Remember the Black Flag series? Isn't that gorgeous? I love that series. That was a lot of fun. Let's see. What else? And I have this. Oh, who remembers the privy on this one? Remember this eagle? The W, West Point? That was a lot of fun, too, to get that. I love George Washington, one of my favorites. That's fun. Of course, the restrikes on the peace dollar rounds. Those are cool. Some other rounds that are fun. Yeah. And a Britannia. We're at 229. If we get to 300 super chats before the end of the giveaways, I'm going to give away this Britannia. We'll put that in there. We'll leave a spot just in case we can get to 300. We'll do that. Let me better cover this up so I don't mess it up. There we go. Put that there. And I don't know if you noticed, but Tim was drinking out of his Tim Yankee mug. That link is also scrolling around the chat. Get yourself one of those mugs. It's a lot of fun. And don't forget, the wheel is not rigged. Let's hear from Not Rigged Nation in the chat. Here goes. Oh, thank you. Little Stacks just walked by. It's not rigged.
From what he says. Of course.
No, it's not.
Right.
Jeez, Little Stacks, man. Come on. We had a really, really good time with Tim. That was a great, great night. All right, so we've got some super chats coming in. Whoa, okay. Thank you so much to Jerky Boy 2 for the $5 super chat. AU Prospector. Actually, no, I'm a little bit behind. Here we go. David Cascio, $5 super chat for postage. Frank Pizzo, super chatted $20. Anyone try and sell Tim those premium copper bars? What would pay for them? Yeah, I would be very interested to see what Tim wouldn't even want them. He wouldn't even take them. I know he wouldn't. Even the premium bars, right? No. Scrap Metal, thanks for the $1 super chat in Midtown. Super chat at $2 rigged. Thanks a lot, Midtown. All right, so we're capturing some names. I think we're pretty much done with the name capturing. I'm going to switch over, get rid of this chat here, switch over to the wheel. And I'm going to wipe out the old names. And let's see. Let's stop the capture. Switch over the names. And then copy. All right, let's put these in here. Boom. There we go. Got some names. Let's shuffle these up. And first one will be for 5 dimes. Okay, 5 dimes. Good luck. Let's see. I'm getting kind of low. I'm going to have to reach out to SD Bullion.
Ask for more.
Ask for more.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they are so nice when they send a pile of silver to give away to the community. It's really neat. All right, so we've got Alan and Photo Guy, Shane, the Cranky Stacker, Echo Leaf, Ron Pierce, War. And It looks like it's going to be MJD 84 with the win. Congratulations. Put that in the tray. Second spot. Oh, and we also have to give away these magnets signed by Tim and I. All right. What do you think? Check them out. Aren't they neat? Aren't they funny?
That's funny.
You like them?
Yeah, that's funny.
What's your favorite?
Probably this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let me see. This is Little Stack's favorite. Signed by Tim. So we'll give that away. And then the Yankee one. And then the original Tim. Then we'll get back to the silver. So and you know what? We should do some pocket pingers. Yep. Hold on. Let's do some pocket pingers. I think I have some handy, ready to go. I have both pink and black. So we got the black pocket pinger. We got the pink pocket pinger. You can choose when you win what color you want. We'll give away a couple here. All right. Switch back to the wheel. Don't forget to email me your mailing address, and it is open to all U.S. and Canada mailing addresses. So let's shuffle this up. This is for a, let's do the pocket pinger first. Pocket pinger. And you know what? I should give out a secret. I should give out a secret link for getting some silver if you don't win the pocket pinger. So let's first do the winners. Let's see who wins. Butters, AGAU Addict. So Agua Addict? Agua Addict. That's better. Agua Addict, you won a pocket pinger. Congratulations. All right, so we will do another one. Let's shuffle it a bit and spin. This is for the second pocket pinger. Now, what I'm saying there is if you don't win and you do go and buy a pocket pinger, I think you need to be the first, oh boy, let me check. The first 10 people will get free silver. Let me just figure out something here. I want to make sure I got that right. And we've got Fubar. Looks like, nope. Anita V. Moore. Anita V. Moore. Now, hold on one second, because I do have a link here, and I want to bring it up. Here we go. Here's a link. Let's see, run out at 5. So the first 5 people. Yeah, that's right. So let me just put this link in the chat, because Anita got the second one. So that's all we're going to do for tonight. But if you want to get some free silver, and that would be a free Kennedy $50 or a Walker, and a fake Kennedy or Walker $50, and that's good, because then you can test both the real one and a fake one. If you're interested in getting a free fake and real silver $50 to test with a pocket pinger, I'm going to put in the link right now in the chat, and that will allow you to do that. This is, again, you got to be quick with this, guys, because it goes fast. All right? Here's the link. This is it right there. Pinger Pro, Sam Cart, right there. You click it, you buy it, and the first 5 will get some free silver. No, it's not, Mogo. You get both. You get a fake one and a real one. Come on. Mogo's teasing me. It's not. Echo on the audio. Oh, thank you. How's that? Hopefully I got rid of the echo. Let's go. Let's go. How long does it take for you to make the fake coins? Come on, Johnny T. All right. So they're the 2 winners. Let me know the 2 winners on the wheel for the pocket pingers, whether you want black or pink. Put those over here. And again, I'll put the link one last time in there. This is only for tonight, guys. This is going to go fast. In fact, it probably already has gone, but maybe not. Click that, buy that, get free silver. All right. Let's do this magnets. We'll start with Little Stack's favorite right here. And did I see any super chats come through? Yeah, it was Baby Shark telling me there was an echo on the audio for $2. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. And also, W85 super chatted $10. Picked up a 1/4 ounce gold coin today. Nice. The 2025 Perth Mint Kangaroo. Sweet. The Kangaroo is really fun to stack. That's a nice gold coin. You're going to love it. All right. Let's do this one. Switch back to the wheel. Shuffle it up again. And spin. Here we go. Let the wheel stop for me. Land on Yankee. No bite contests. No. That means I got to give away an extra 1 ounce of silver. Do not land on Yankee, please. All right, we've got Damian, John, EEE, 18 Wheels, Crimson Cane, Beto Herman, Brush Teeth, with, what the heck is that name? I'm about to find out. Brush teeth with cheddar cheese. Okay, brush teeth with cheddar cheese. Congratulations, you got this magnet, the Tim magnet. That's one. Now for the Yankee magnet, this one right here, signed by Yankee, yours truly. Let's spin it again. Oro. Okay, I see ya. Brush teeth, please. Yes, Tuli. Thank you so much for being a great mod tonight and helping people out. I appreciate it. Sold out? What, Harold? You got to be kidding me. All right, I told you it happened fast. All right, so Ringo, Silverista, and it looks like Janet Anvik. Janet Anvik's going to get the Yankee magnet. Congratulations, Janet. All right, I'll put that over here. And we've got one more. This is the original, the one that started it all, from Almost Homestead. Great channel, wonderful guy. He puts these together, signed by the one and only Tim Marshner. So let's spin on this one. Give this away. How do I enter? Well, hopefully your name's on the wheel. If you have been here, put something in the chat. Your name's out there. All right. Do you wear a disguise at Tim's? No, Ringo. No. I just show up and say hi to people. I just stay off camera. All right. We got Beto and Shelly and Jesse. Somebody won special. Robert Honeck and Daniel K. I think Daniel K is going to get the final magnet. Yes, Daniel K. Congratulations. You won that. Now, let's get back to the silver. All right. So we've got a Morgan round. We'll do that next. This time I will shuffle it up a bit and spin. Don't forget to email me your mailing address if you win. We'll get this out to you. Please allow a couple weeks for Mrs. Yankee to package everything up and send it out. You need to sell those. Yeah, aren't they awesome? I know. I don't think I want to sell them. Just want to give them away. I got piles more too. We'll give away some more in the upcoming live streams. Quicksilver. Oh, I don't think you've got the round. It looks like it's going to be Big Green. Big Green. All right, Big Green. Email me. You got the Morgan round. Let's put that over here in the tray. And now we want to do this one. It was shouted out by someone in the chat. I can't remember who, but yeah, the Spirit of Columbia. We'll give that away. Where are we at to with Super Chats? 241. Okay. Well, we got a ways to go to get to 3, so I think I'm safe. If we do get to 3, a Britannia is going to be given away. Just to let you know, let's shuffle this up and spin for the Columbia Silver round. Good luck. Melt it down. A Gold Britannia? No, Midtown. No. When I get to 200,000 subscribers, people, I will be giving away gold. Okay? I've got it all. It's a Gold Eagle. Okay? So definitely watch that live stream when it comes. Beverly Lowry, it looks like you're not going to get the round. It's going to be LCF or LC Flooring. Excuse me, LC Flooring. You won the 1 ounce Columbia round. Email me your mailing address. We'll put that here. And then, courtesy of Tim, we have this wonderful, absolutely gross looking colorized walking Liberty Eagle. I'm sorry. I just can't stand this. I don't like it. Now, maybe a little kid might like it. I hate it. I think they're ruining an eagle by slapping that plastic on it. However, I know some people like it. So whoever wins this, okay, can ask me to remove the plastic with a quick dip in some xylene. I've done that to dozens of silver eagles with this plastic on it, and it comes out absolutely beautiful. It doesn't affect the silver. It just pulls the plastic off. So if you're interested in that, the reverse is uncovered or not covered with plastic, which is awfully nice. But the obverse. If you want me to take care of it, let me know. All right. So let's just give this thing away after we shuffle it up some. And spin. Good luck, everyone. It's still silver. Of course it is. And I got them for spot. Tim was selling them to me for spot years ago. And I was like, fine, I'll take an eagle at spot. I don't care if it has plastic on it. I'll take it off. I have tubes of them. They look great without the plastic. All right, SK, Robert LaChance, Joe Minnick. Oh, I think, Joe, you're going to hang on to this. Come on. Yeah, you got it, Joe. You got the colorized eagle. I'll put that in the tray. All right. And then we're down to the bullet. Are we at 241? Yep. So let's go back here. This is really cool. This, again, from Tim, 45. 1 ounce of silver. So let's do that. Bullets, not rigged. Okay. Let's shuffle it up. I know it made a nice thud, didn't it, Midtown? I want that next. Okay, let's really shove it. I want the bullet. All right, here we go. Freedom Seed, yes. Need the silver bullet, Yank. I know, GH. I know. Not rigged. Thank you, Silverista. Maybe it's rigged. No, come on, Ringo. I don't know who's going to win. Here we go. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Mogo, Darren Thomas, Robert Long, C. Gadget. C. Gadget. Can C. Gadget hold on? Yes, C. Gadget with the win. Almost a little too rigged. KH. All right, C. Gadget, you got the 45. I'll put that in the tray. Now, the last one, and I think it is the last one. Yep. So it doesn't look like we're going to break any more thresholds, $100 thresholds. So the final giveaway will be the 1 ounce Roaring Lion from SD Bullion. Let me show you. It's this one, and it's beautiful. In fact, it's so beautiful. I have the gold one. Absolutely gorgeous. And I also have the silver. I mean, I really love this design. 2025 just came out from Nui. The micro engraving is Who Wants All People. It's a great story behind the Roaring Lion, behind the Truth series coins that ST Bullion puts out. This is a lot of fun. You're going to enjoy this coin. This is a great one to gift someone, all right? So for this, you do need to be a U.S. Mailing address only, straight from SD Bullion. You can buy from SD Bullion in any country, or most any country, but for the giveaway, it's U.S. only. And I will need the phone number because I'll be sending that along with your address to SD Bullion if they need to get in contact with you. I need that number as well. So I think we're ready. This is it. Let's shuffle it up really well. And good luck, everyone. Here we go. Good luck. I just got a Noah's Ark coin. That's great. Nice. Oh, I'm sorry, Durango, Hemi. That's the way it works with the final giveaway. SD Bullion shipping for the giveaways only here. So we got Crafty and Dave and B Story and Ellie or Eli, Elmo, Renee, Rooster, Mike Wilson, Jew. It's G.I. Rye. G.I. Rye, final winner. Congratulations. Make sure you email me your address and phone number, and we will send that off for SD Bullion to get that to you. Thank you so much. Wow, that was a lot of fun. Did you guys enjoy being with Tim tonight? If so, please put a Tim in the chat. Put Tim in the chat if you enjoyed talking with Tim and listening to him and all the questions that he answered. He's a great guy. He's the best. He really is. Look at that. What an amazing time. Thank you, guys. Yes, he rocks. All right. Well, I think that's it for tonight. I think I'm going to hit the bed after this. I'm getting kind of tired. Long day, but it's been a lot of fun to spend it with you guys. Have a great night. God bless. And see you next time on Ask Yankee.